Jane was a very, very kind person. I think she's made me kinder. I think she's made me more giving.
I think Jane to me was somebody that I could always go to. She was a great listener. I could always pick up the phone and know that she was there.
And she was so small in stature. I mean, she was just this little firecracker. Well, we were a family of 6 children. There were 3 older girls, a 3-year gap, and then the 3 little kids.
In Erie Beach, the phones would ring because one of the booth girls has been seen. You couldn't get away with anything.
Well, I'm going to talk about Jane's hair, because Jane's hair was every color.
Jane's hair went from short to long to curly to straight, and you just never knew who you were going to see next time you met her.
Jane had had health issues, but you wouldn't have known it, so.
And I think part of that might have been for Joe as well, because Joe had some health issues, so Jane would be strong for Joe.
Jane was over at my house one day having our little wine date afternoon, and I'd made some appetizers, and I said to Jane, "You don't like my food today?" And she went, "I can't eat anything." And I went, "What do you mean you can't eat anything?" And she said, "Well, I can't swallow." And she said that she'd come home from working at the casino, picked up her grandson, and was trying to eat a peanut butter sandwich and couldn't get it down, and it all came back up. She didn't tell a lot of people some of the issues she was having, because she'd always say, "It's gonna be fine. I'm seeing somebody else. It's gonna be fine." Then it was very quick from there on.
We've experienced loss, and those losses were often in a hospital. And so to come here and to walk into a facility that's light-filled, such caring staff, there is a feeling here that although we knew this was end of life, it was joyful. It was sad, but it was shared. We were there together, experienced it together, and then the hospice had this beautiful, beautiful service out in the courtyard. Her favorite music, lighting of candles, the grandchildren were a part of it. It was like a gift. It doesn't get more compassionate with dignity than it does in a hospice.
Near the end of the 3rd lockdown and the 3rd wave of the pandemic, Jane and Joe came to see me and wanted to give back to the frontline workers who had supported her during her journey. She wanted to know how much money it would take to make sure 600 people, frontline workers and their families, she was doing 600 meals, how much money it would take to make that happen. And I said, "Jane, you have done more and more and more. Why?" And she went, "Because I can and I want to." Without people's donations, this facility could not continue to run. If you've never known somebody here, I guess that's a very hard thing to understand.
It was a privilege to have spent Jane's final days with her, surrounded by such caring, professional team in such a beautiful, beautiful facility.
Like, this is fantastic. I mean, I don't think there's anything like this in Toronto.
It's definitely world class.
Yeah.